Fala pessoal, tudo bem? Aqui é Paulo Ricardo, da editoria de música do ArteCult, e venho aqui informar que David Aguilar, que fez o show terça-feira em São Paulo, respondeu algumas perguntas que eu mandei para ele. No vídeo que vocês vão ver agora está Luiz Quiroga e Davi respondendo as perguntas, e ele foi muito simpático, as perguntas foram muito bem respondidas e eu espero que vocês curtam muito. Aproveitem e procurem as músicas do David Aguilar, porque eu achei sensacional. Ele tem uma versão de Woman do último álbum dele que está muito boa. Um grande abraço.
El periodista no puede estar acá porque tiene otros compromisos de trabajo, pero estoy con las preguntas. Voy a empezar.
Okay.
Good afternoon, David. It is a great pleasure to be able to interview you about your work. First of all, I'd like to know more about your musical journey. You have been on the road for 20 years between independent and record label releases, and there is a great influence of folk and traditional Mexican music. Who are the artists that have influenced your work and who influence it nowadays?
Okay. Thank you. First of all, artists who have influenced in my work are mostly artists like the Beatles, like Queen, because when I was a kid, my father used to listen to their music, of that kind of artist from that years in England, and some kind of projects from the United States, like Chicago, or projects like Bee Gees when I was a child. But then when I grew up, I started to listen to my own preferences, and I started to listen to musicians from Latin America mostly, like Silvio Rodriguez from Cuba, for example, and like Joaquin Sabina from Spain, Bob Dylan, Leonard Cohen, Charlie Garcia from Argentina, and here from Brazil a lot, mostly Chico Buarque and Caetano Veloso.
And what it was like working with Jorge Drexler on the album Abracadabras? What mark did he leave on your work, especially on the album Siguiente, which was nominated for the Latin Grammy?
Working with Jorge Drexler was great. Jorge Drexler, yes. He's my friend, and I'm very grateful. So we could make this featuring on my newest album, Campito del Destino, and in his album, Salvavidas de Hielo is the name of his album, the one which contains this song you mentioned, it, Abracadabras. I wrote like 20% of the song. I mean, I'm co-author, but it's just because Jorge is a very generous person that I'm participating on that song. But I was involved in the musical production of that album in Mexico City in 2017. So it's a pleasure, it's an honor, and till this year in 2024, I made this dream true, of having him in my album as a collaborator, in a featuring, So I'm very glad. It's the only featuring I have in this album, and it's just because that song called Tuyo, it's very similar to the Drexler's songs. So the producers, who were working with me in this album told me that this song called Tuyo, it was very Drexlerian song. So I had to invite him to invite him. It was the perfect moment.
Okay. Have musical partnerships modified or influenced your work in any way? What influence do you believe is the most evident in your latest album, Campito del Destino?
Influences, can you read again the beginning of the...
Yes, have musical partnerships, collaborations modified or influenced your work in any way? And what influence do you believe is the most evident in your latest album?
Okay. Do you listen? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It's better. I was listening very quietly. I think this album, the main influences that I feel exists in this album is from the whole continent. From the United States to Argentina, because one of the songs, it has to be something with blues music, with rock music, but other ones are very related with the Caribbean music or the Mexican, regional Mexican music too. Is there one song even that could be Brazilian song? It's a samba called Milagrito del Cosmos. It's the number 2 of the album. It's very Brazilian, the kind of rhythm and the spirit of the song, of the melody. So I will say this album is an American album because it's from all the way in the continent, the style and the music and the feeling of the songs.
Yes, perfect. And
sorry for my English. It's not so good.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect, really. Campito del Destino seems to us to be a more intimate album in which we hear more of your feelings. May you please explain the song Prieta as well as Mora? I don't know quite the pronunciation.
Morra.
Yeah, Mora, your version of Woman by John Lennon.
Yes, Prieta, it's a song against Mexican racism that it's now that exists in our country. It's a very unique, let's say that, very unique kind of racism. It's not the same racism that is in the United States, for example, or even in other countries. It's very peculiar, and this song called Prieta is about that. It's a satira. Satira is like a, how do you say satira in English? I don't know, but do you understand?
It's the same in Portuguese.
It's the same, right? Yes. Okay. It's a satira for racism, and it's about the color of the skin and like a reivindication on that sense. And I think it's the main song in the whole album, Prieta, because in the music we have a lot of different things. For example, you have these Afro percussions in that song, but you have also a Latin jazz piano, and you have also the bass of the regional Mexican music that it's like a big horn, like a trombone but bigger. It's a bass, and we use it in the north of Mexico in regional music. And but the singing it's like urbano, like urban, modern urban music, like reggaeton almost. And so I think that song has a lot of different things that makes it big for me. It's just that. And it is working as a guide for next works to me, for future works or future albums. Or, I mean, Prieta is a song that invite me to work in that way more. And the other one, Morra, yes, it's a tribute for one of my biggest heroes in life, that is John Lennon. And I did that kind of adaptation. So because the word morra, which is the title, morra, that word, it's a very new word in Mexico. I mean, it's from the border with the United States, and it was used in that area of Mexico, in the border in Northwest, which is the place I was born, in Sinaloa. So I used it since I was a kid, but we use, only people in that area used to use it. But now, the last 15 years or 10 years, it's been used in the whole country. Like it had spread in all the country, the use of that word morra, which means woman. Woman. Morra is woman. It's the same, but it's a Mexicanism. And it's very related with the feminist movements in Mexico right now. And you can find that kind of collectives or organizations or movements searching las morras. It's like the morras. I don't know why, but they use it like that. So I did this translate exercise of that song, because the word is the only word in Spanish that has the same vocals. The vocals of woman. I mean the O and the A. More, because I could say chava, mina, which is the same as, I think, as garota here or something. But
Yes.
But morra only is the only word in Spanish that has the vocals, the U and A. So it's trying to make this kind of translation, that it translate adaptation from the song. And it's just that. And I tried to make it literally, the meaning of the words and of the phrases.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And do you have a favorite song from Campito del Destino? Prieta or other?
I think it's Prieta. And then I will say a song called Noche Azul. Noche Azul.
Yes. And what do you expect from the Brazilian public tomorrow at your concert? Your expectations?
Well, I don't know what to feel about. It's my first time making a show here. I think it's in my artist size and style. It's like a very intimate reality for me waiting out there. So this place called Bona, it's a recommendation from my friend Tobran Di Leone, who lives in here. and I'm co-author with him in a song that he's recording. So he connect me with this other girl who set it up that this venue and this date and this concert. So I'm not waiting anything. I think it's gonna be like a very warm show. I will sing guitar and voice only, like a very acoustic show. So I don't know. I'm very glad to be here in Brazil, just singing and getting my first impressions, because I were here like 6 or 7 years ago for a TV show, but I were only 2 nights, 2 or 3 nights as much, and I didn't know anybody. So it was like a very strange trip that time. But now, because time has passed, and I hope tomorrow to see some friends in there, to sing, to share some music, and maybe late to go dinner with them. I was in Argentina and Chile and Uruguay the whole last month. So this concert is like a natural step geographically to me, returning to Mexico.
Yes.